when kind of revamping our metabolomics approaches, we've really considered what the end goal is for researchers in what they're setting out to achieve. So with something as vast as a metabolome, you can really spend a lot of time and effort trying to quantify as many metabolites and as many processes as possible. And some researchers are very keen on using a variety of tools to do this and spending a lot of time actually getting to that end point. But on the other hand, some people really want to use metabolomics as a tool in more large-scale translational research. And in that case, it's very important to develop tools and solutions that can enable you to get from the sample to the results very, very quickly. So we've really made that differentiation in terms of how we kind of present our products. Discovery metabolomics is really about pulling useful information out from a huge array of data. So when you use LCMS to do discovery metabolomics, you generate a hell of a lot of peaks, which you could call features, and only really a handful of those are actually going to give you useful biological information. So it really becomes about the software workflows that you can use to actually extract this useful information and find metabolites that are of interest, metabolites that are up or down regulated, and then subsequently identify them. So we work with a lot of people who write software. We develop our own software pipelines that allow you to do this, and we also look at collaborating with people developing novel approaches. So a good example of that's the IROA approach, which is a way of adding isotopic standards to a metabolomics experiment and generating characteristic patterns that are only attributed to metabolites that are of biological interest. So in that way, you filter out that useful information from this wealth of data that you get. Pathway-driven metabolomics is really, the aim is to look at as much of the observable metabolome as possible and quantify as many metabolites as you can from that and as many different pathways. And that's a real challenge because the actual chemical diversity across that is quite large. So if you think, for example, about organic acids versus lipids, they're vastly different in terms of polarity. And so kind of coming up with approaches that can allow you to do this and to get that depth of information is really, really critical. And so we kind of look to supplement instrument performance with novel approaches, for example, using front-end solutions. So a really great example of that is using capillary electrophoresis as a separation element before you do your mass spectrometry analysis. What we found with this particular approach is it really allows you to target and to quantify those polar metabolites that are very difficult to do using LCMS. So that means pathways like the organic acids in essential carbon metabolism and nucleotides, which traditionally, they're quite difficult to retain on an HPLC column. With the CE approach, you can really get useful information on those. And I think SCIEX has got a really great solution in the CESI 8000 because we're the first company who has really nailed the actual hyphenation of capillary electrophoresis and mass spectrometry. It's like a real great solution to allow you to bring the two techniques together.